Welcome back one and all to Trails to Azure. I'm the TheDarkSeraph. Last time, we got Teal back. Lloyd, do you have a moment? I wanted to give you this. And it's your... okay. It's your personal Palm Party account. Indeed. I thought I might provide a fun distraction from our current predicament. Feel free to challenge me at any time. I would be more than happy to obliterate you. You're right. Alright, you're on. Tia's confident in her Palm Party skills, and that's putting it lightly. I have to give it all I've got to stand a chance. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I spotted Risha on the deck. Seemed to have her head in the clouds a bit. Arkansas hay away her duty as yin. I'm sure the girl has a lot on her mind. Why not go out there and lend her an ear? Maybe even give some advice. You never know. You may just raise a romantic flag or two. I have no idea what you're talking about. What kind of ulterior motives do you think I have? Besides, I like Ellie more. Ellie has finally regained consciousness. I couldn't be more thrilled about that. It's not too late, Risha. When you're ready to face her, just say the word. I promise we'll find the time to head back to St. Ursula the moment you do. Thank you, Lloyd. I appreciate your concern. All right, now my focus is on liberating Crossbell City and the rest of Arkansas. There's still work to be done before I can proudly stand in front of Ilya and tell her the truth. Fair enough. But when you do, I'll know you'll be able to face Ilya with your head held high. I intend to give my very best for everybody who's counting on us, Kia and Ilya included. Are you with me, Risha? Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm still a little at the sound, so I don't have all the details straight. Before they told us, a stray bullet from a Republican Army exercise struck my dad by mistake while he was on guard duty. That's terrible. Given Crossbell's situation, though, there was no way to really push his death as a major issue. In the end, it was just swept under the rug as just another accident. Our mom was heartbroken, but she ultimately accepted it as part of the risks that came with his job. But Noe, I don't think she ever did. It probably still haunts her even after all this time. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it probably was just an accident, but the fact that the Republic faced no repercussions is insane. There's a bounty monster somewhere on the Mainz mountain path. The resistance group we're looking for is somewhere on the mountain path. Shall we start heading toward the mining village? I am worried about the state of things in Mainz, but before that, the doll studio. One of the 13 factories. The Mitre said he would speak to us if he felt inclined. Is that so? As it happens, I once tried to infiltrate the workshop myself, but the lower floors were so labyrinthine that I had to give up the operation. I'm not sure if it's for better or for worse. It's been many moons since we met, but I hear he's doing well for himself. What? So, you're acquainted with him? We are vaguely aware of each other's circumstances, to say the least. He may be aligned with those serpents, but he is nevertheless a craftsman of tradition and integrity. I have no doubt that he is someone we can trust. Wow. Well, it seems like he's not really direct a member of the society. It's more like he just builds shit for them. It seems more like a contract than anything. I don't know if the bounty monster will be this way or not. It's probably... Oop. Yeah, killing that... Ooh, where are you? Large mole monster that makes its nest in the ground. Its sharp claws are venomous, weak to water and fire. New material for that. I doubt it's going to be this way, honestly. Because this is going back toward Crossbell, bud. And this is the pier. I think I've got one more we can go through before we get to the... before we actually get to the city gate. I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't quite remember. So, yeah, it's just the barrier. Okay. So it is back the other way. Let's go track that monster down. In the tunnel of the Mainz mountain path. Yeah, it's just further down. I guess I should have checked that. Oh well. Let's go speak with the good craftsman. I'm willing to bet it is Randy leading the charge. Here we are. I just hope he's in right now. Concerning the situation, I doubt he's able to go anywhere else. That's right, I haven't. Impeccable timing. I had a hunch you'd be showing up soon. There's the creepy doll. That guide doll again. Come in. While I shouldn't have to remind you, be aware that I cannot guarantee your safety if you stray from the little one. Cautious as always, that man. And there's the Patermatter. He brought a guest in tow, an exceptionally elusive one at that. It's been some time, Divine Wolf. That it has, child of man. You've aged far worse than I have. And you're still involved with those serpents from the looks of it. Some bounds never break, even after departing this earthly realm. The same could be said of the pact that bound you, could it not? Ha ha ha, just so. Something about this seems a bit removed from our comprehension. Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're talking about the world we know anymore. That aside, you also brought a dominion of the Gralzenritter, as well as a demon of the Eastern Quarter who tried to break in here. That is quite a monthly little meringue you've got you set up for yourselves. Mengeray? Meringue? I don't fucking know what that is. I'll have to look. I'll put it on screen. You're telling us. My apologies for that, by the way. Mitre Jorg. Jorg? I'm still not sure. We're doing all we can to fight back against everything that's happening right now. Is there anything you can tell us about that would help, specifically involving the Society's recent activity? As I'm sure you've summarized by now, the Society's stance is to simply cooperate with the Croix family's plans. Their focus, this phantasmal Blaze plan, has already begun shifting to the next stage. The Erebonian Empire, to be more precise. What? He's right. Another Anguish and multiple enforcers have already begun to act over there. That's part of why the Gralzenritter couldn't spare more manpower for the situation here in Crossbell. Well, that's not good. The continent is experiencing more upheaval than we can imagine right now. But having said all that, 3 dangerous figures still remain in state. Each of them is a prominent member of the Society. Campanella the Fool, as well as 2 Anguisses, Professor Novaratis and the woman known as Arianrode. Just who is she exactly? Her agility, her reflexes, they're unlike anything I've ever seen. I couldn't tell you where she draws such strength from. However, she's known in the Society for her incomparable spearmanship, as well as her strict moral code. She is also accompanied by 3 maidens of war, 3 young women whom she discovered and trained herself, the Stahlritter. And each is said to have the strength equivalent to that of an enforcer. That would make them as powerful as Ren. To be fair, being an enforcer involves a lot more than pure combat strength from what I can tell. In any case, that would total out up to 6 members of the Society cooperating with the Croix family. But cooperation doesn't necessarily mean active participation. Isn't there a chance that they won't further involve themselves with the battle over Crossbell? Anything is possible. But I would remain wary of that Laus Novaratus. He is particularly invested in those Aeons, now that they've received the Septarian's power. That is the extent of what I can tell you about their plans. That's all, huh? Dealing with them will not be easy. As an aside, there is something I've been wanting to ask you about our last visit. Are you currently performing maintenance on the Patermatter? Yeah. Did it just talk? This is less maintenance, more of a routine checkup. That jackanape of a professor is also particularly taken by this machine. For those of you who don't know what a jackanape is, it's basically calling somebody a jackass. I will put the actual definition on screen, but it's basically a jackass. Fortunately, he's been too focused on his new toy, so I doubt there is anything to worry about. However, in the event he returns to steal the Patermatter, I've arranged things so that he can easily escape. It can easily escape. I'll take your word for it. So, in case of an emergency, it'll make flight path straight to the burrow where the Angel of Slaughter is. From the sound of it, though, you and the professor must not get along very well. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. He told the guy to fuck off when he came by before. You'll never hear me deny that. The Guardias series was something I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into. Then he stole the development data away, conducted inhumane compatibility tests, and then cast all of the burden onto Ren. There is a star door in Sky, the 3rd chapter on that. This Novaratus. Ren was the only one to survive those ordeals, by the way. So she went through not 1, but 2 traumatic events that she barely came out alive from. Fuck these people. Even if her connection was successful, the trials he put that little girl through are something I can never forgive. Understandable. That sounds no better than the kind of experiments the cult performed. And on top of all of it, he went and designed successors incapable of operating properly without the power of a Septarian. What nerve and impudence he has to call them pinnacles of the Guardias series. It took all I had not to wipe that smirk off his face and strangle that chicken neck of his the last time he was here. I kinda wish you would've. Did it now. Mind yourself, Meister. You always were one to get carried away when it came to defending your creations. I digress. Regardless of how shameless he is, there is no denying his genius when it comes to technology and applied engineering. I've heard that in addition to remodeling and upgrading the archaisms that I designed, he's figured out how to mass produce them. Supposedly, there are some already been deployed to Stargazer Tower and the Moon Temple. We'll keep that in mind. This is news to me. I'll probably have to go to both of them. Taking into account the locations in which they've been stationed, are we correct in assuming they're guarding the bells at each ruin? I'm gonna have to go... The bells are what's keeping the barrier in place. I'm gonna have to go to each of them. More likely than not. I've been researching those artifact bells myself. I will let you know of any significant conclusions. You'll do that for us. Color me suspicious. Where's all this generosity coming from? I am just as upset by the current state of affairs as you are. There's that upstart Novaratus to put in his place, too. Yeah, I figured he would come into this. Not to mention the mess they made of the pieces I toiled over my associates at Arkansas. Yeah, to him, this is personal. That's right. The staging and automata of Arkansas were destroyed in the raid. Indeed, and I intend to personally rebuild every last bit of it. All of this is to say that I cannot overlook what the Red Constellation has done, nor the head of the Croix family for hiring them. The daughter of the Croix family may be a long-time collector of my works, but that will win her no favor from me. Take no prisoners, I see. I understand why you'd feel that way. Your cooperation would be a tremendous help. Please let us know if you learn anything about those bells. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the Moon Temple and the fucking Moon Temple, Stargates Tower, and probably the Sun Fort to deal with those bells. I hardly expected we would leave with such a partnership too. I know what you mean. They only seem like a society in name, really. Yes, and that's part of what makes them so hard to grasp. But as far as the old man is concerned, I don't see any reason not to work with him. I have to agree. He's already given up his motivations for helping us. Knowing Jorg, I'm going to say Jorg, he will make good on uncovering valuable information in time. I would advise you to put it out of your minds for now and continue forward until he does. That we can do. Let's start making our way up to the middle of the mining village now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the Moon Temple and Stargazer, probably the Sun Fort, to break the barrier and raid. And raid the city. It's probably going to be Orcus Tower is going to be the final dungeon. Well, actually, no, the final dungeon is the Azure Tree. I detect something. Military monsters incoming. Damn, Constellation is tenacious. That was irritating. Huh? They're retreating. Fleeing toward the tunnel. Something must be happening near Mainz. Perhaps the Red Constellation has begun hunting down their resistance. A fair assumption. Their withdrawal may have had their more purpose behind it than a simple retreat. And what I'm looking for is in the tunnel, so... Wait a second. It's darker than it should be. They must have cut the lights. What is this? I'm fine. Thank you, Risha. Just a second longer and I would have been a goner. I'm glad I made it in time then. Well, if this isn't a hoot. They've set up mines around the mains. Yes, they appear to be orbital powered and are equipped with proximity fuses. Judging by the forces of lies, they are likely intended as an anti-infantry measure. Suffice to say, the entire tunnel has been littered with them. Damn it! How could they possibly lay these things on a public road? They must have done it to cut off the resistant group's escape route. Seems probable. Which would make their main goal it is to wipe them out completely. We have no choice but to push through. Watch your step. Well, at least we can sort of see them. And there's the bounty monster up there. Ooh. It'd be what? Ooh, I saw it. Ah, give me a fucking break. It's around the bend. There it is. Well, Crow hit level 4, that's something. And I think Cannon did as well. It is level 4 now. Cannon level 4. 8 and 4. Ooh, nice. Increased healing arts. Crow level 4. 8 and 4. Increases speed. Water gem. Let me take a look at that. That's basically an HP 4. I know exactly where that's going. Damn. Damn. Okay. Seems like if you stick close to the wall, you don't really have to deal with the mines very much. Yeah, they're in a full-scale fight. Let's do it. So it's going to be the CGF. It's going to be Shirley leading the charge. I remember they mentioned... I remember Sigmund mentioned a defector. Sniper. Jaeger Garrett. I'm unsurprised you were able to detect me, Yin. Well done. Wait, you were waiting to ambush us. Of course I was. I could tell you were coming the moment you set foot in the tunnel. Though I'm surprised at how much you've managed to scurry around the crossbow under martial law. You must be using our Gral's emitter Markaba, am I right? Ah, right on the money. So how did you figure out who I am? If you came to bail out the resistance, I'm afraid I have some bad news to deliver. You're too late. Our unit's already been in the process of wiping them out. They're putting up a good fight, but it'll be over soon. My condolences, but you're gonna have to sit this one out. Oh, like hell we do. Zeit and I will break through. I'm afraid not, young lady. We're in hot water now. Hear this, Lloyd Bannings and Company. I, Geralt the Blitz, Regimental Commander of the Red Constellation, will be your opponent. Prepare for battle. I sure love how much of a little powerhouse my Teotot is. Red Constellation lives up to its reputation. This would be simpler if they didn't have a sniper with the high ground on us. You put up a decent struggle. I expected no less from the young master's comrades. But you lost before the battle began. There's nothing you can do when I have the upper hand in every way. Surrender quietly and... What was that? Could it be? Right at the 11th hour. The dogs, and it's the resistance. It's the CGF resistance. Muriel! Wolves. Zeit's pack. Is that Second Lieutenant Muriel with them? Mangy mutts. Find them. Let's see if they handle a pincer attack. No chance in hell, Garrett. I knew it! Well, well. Randy. Yo, it's been a minute. We've got a whole lot to talk about, but you think it can wait a little bit? Well done, young master. I'm impressed you were able to take a sniper of my caliber by surprise. Well, it would have gone badly if our wolf pals hadn't brought the whole litter. Besides, it's your own damn fault for letting Lloyd and them get you distracted. I'll concede that much. But if I may remind you, young master, you're still using a standard issue stun halberd. You really think you can defeat me without the blade rifle in hand? I may not have it on hand, but it doesn't mean it's not in my back pocket. The old man fixed it up for me. See, no matter how strong this thing is, it's way less useful with the engine busted. So I'm going to have to whip it out unless I really need it. Fair enough. You're right that you don't. That one strike was enough to wreck my rifle's precision. The tides have turned against me. Do yourself a favor and retreat. And deliver this message to my uncle. Next time we meet, I'm kicking his ass to Gehenna and back. Understood. It's good to see you finally growing into your own, young master. Surrender the operation. Retreat to Point D. Randy, you're okay. Sup, gang? Nice job back there. I didn't expect to find you guys hiking up to my way anytime soon. I'm glad you're on police, Lloyd. T.O. Todd. You too, Randy. I see you managed to escape confinement. Yeah, I busted out on my own, then joined up with Muriel's crew. Been helping with the resistance around these parts ever since. Gotta say, though, I thought for sure today was gonna end up with me pushing up daisies. I don't blame you. I'm glad that wasn't the case, though. Zeit's pack is back for that, then. Thanks for that. No kidding. If it took a second longer, I would have been a lot less saving and a lot more avenging. Were you the one who called him oversight? As insurance, yes. I also instructed them to keep a close watch of those Jaeger's actions. Oh yeah, cool. And wait, what the hell? Since when did you start talking? Now it's your turn to be surprised. Hold up, what's Wazzy doing in the snazzy getup? And don't get me started on Risha. What? Did you smooth talk her into the SSS too, Lloyd? God, I wish. Here we go. Randy. We received confirmation that the enemy forces have retreated. We should be able to rest easy for a little while now. Well, that's some good news. Long time no see, Muriel. It's good to see you're doing well. Likewise, I'm glad you're all okay. Though I didn't expect you to come with such a colorful crew. We have a lot of explaining to do. I'm sure you won't mind if we take a break and exchange some intel. Music to my ears. God damn it, Grace. Why are you here? Well, there was a teensy bit of trouble that ended up forcing me out of the city. So I crashed the Resistance base as a war correspondent and photographer. I would prefer if she took shelter somewhere else, though. Anywhere else, really. That pretty much covers her story. We got a whole lot more to share, though. What do you say we catch up? So that's how it is. We're really in the hole this time. Especially what's happened to Keto. This is nuts. I'd get laughed out of a journalistic community if I were to write an article about it. Let me guess, you guys are going to go through hell or high water to take her back, right? Of course we are. Was there ever any doubt? The Resistance will be fine, Randy. Don't worry about us. After all, you only joined us on the condition that we would help save your friend, isn't that right? Yeah, but... So that's how it went. It's no question that having your muscle back on the team would be a great help. At its core, the Resistance is just a group of stubborn CGF members who couldn't accept the Defense Force ways. You're not one of us, Randy. You left the CGF and found new comrades to fight beside. Besides, we have the Wolves on our side now. That is correct. I've instructed them to maintain their vigil here. They will benefit you greatly in the battle to come. Thanks a bunch, Scruffy. Lloyd, Teotot, you can count me in. We've got a job to do, both as the SSS and Keto's family. That's more like it. An excellent response. We're delighted to have you. Absolutely over the moon. While we're at it, you won't mind if I tag along too, right? I would. Honestly, Muriel would probably prefer that. Gets you out of her hair. Oh joy, here it comes. I can tell you guys are going to be at the center of all the action coming up. As a reporter, it'd be remiss of me not to take a chance to let a chance like this pass me by. I don't know about this. I suppose we can make room for you. Arbus may not be too happy about having a journalist aboard, though. He isn't the only one. I can't well afford to end up in an article either. Oh, don't worry your pretty little heads. I could write a whole mountain of feature pieces about you all, but that's not the time for that. Right now, the scoop that's on everyone's mind is what'll happen if the newly independent state of Crossbell. The real story is which side of history that this deceitful new regime is going to fall on. Which side of history? To put it simply, the entire continent is in chaos. Sure, President Croix is the main catalyst behind it, but is casting him aside really all it's going to take to tide us over these dangerous times? I mean, yeah, Erebony is in a full-scale civil war right now, because the nobles couldn't play nice with commoners. I'm not even joking. The whole reason the noble faction kicked off a civil war was because a reformist, common-born chancellor was giving more rights, representation, and political power to people of common birth. Because they're assholes. She has a point there. This is a more complex situation than we're giving it credit for. When Calvert democratized 100 years ago, the revolutionaries at the time committed enough sordid deeds to fill a whole library. Assassinations were commonplace. There was even a conspiracy similar to the raid that Crossbell City experienced. But in retrospect, modern-day Calvardians view these actions as justified. I mean, that's kind of how revolutions go. Perhaps President Croix's actions are going to be viewed in a similar light someday. And of course, someone had to carry out those assassinations. And I can't go along with him or his cronies after witnessing what I've seen. That is why I want to go with you. I want to see which path Crossbell will take, and how history will reflect on that decision. And I can't exactly do that if I'm holed up here in the back lines. Grace. Our bad. We didn't realize how much thought you put into this one. That reasoning was so insightful I could hardly believe it was coming from out of your mouth. Well, to be fair, the potential fun of it still ranks number 1 on my list. And don't forget, I've gained a whole lot of sources working at a news agency. What if I said I could hook you up with some intel from within the city? You've already sold the pitch. We're not going to object to you coming. How about you, Wazzy? Risha, are you okay with all this? I suppose as long as I don't wind up in an article, that is. Same here. That said, good luck convincing Arbus. That's going to be your real challenge. I owe you one. Alright guys, let's do this. We're going to bag me a fluid surprise for this one. Good luck with that one, Grace. I don't think we're going to have time to help with that one. We were wrong to think she had changed. Man, get a load of this airship. I gotta say, the church is the last thing I'd expect to have one of these babies stashed away. I must remind you not to write a word about this in your publication. Should you disclose this information, you can expect the church will never lend you their cooperation again. I get the feeling that even if she did, people would just pass it off as a tabloid piece. The same happens whenever anyone writes about Ouroboros. Wazzy! Relax, boys. My word's golden. Same goes for you, Risha Mao. As tempting as it is to write about the mysterious assassin Yin's true identity. I appreciate that. Lloyd. Was having her tag along really a good idea? Well, at the very least, she's not the one to go back on her word. I've detected a new potential landing spot in Western Crossbell. Good, I can go get that last monster. Pinpointing coordinates. Now, it's in the midway point of the West Crossbell Highway, near the fork in the road that leads to the police academy and prison. There, huh? That's where you were being kept, yeah? Didn't you say Garcia helped you break out of the joint? That's right, believe it or not, I wouldn't be standing here if not for him. To tell you the truth, I've been worried about what happened to him after we split up. I get how you feel, but I wouldn't advise trying to go to the police academy. They've likely stepped up security since you made your getaway. The Bellegarde Station, the Defense Force is stationed at Bellegarde Gate 2, which is the other direction we could go. So that isn't much of an option either. You're telling me they'd arrest you guys on the spot if you showed up there. Regardless, I think it's still in our best interest to land. At the very least, we can scout out what the Defense Force is doing and try to take care of any potential cryptids. Understood. You should know that I have another warp circle placed in the mining village upon your disembark. Whenever and wherever you are ready to land, you need only say the word. Berserker. Yes. Now then. Most of his stuff is largely the same. Fire in gold, I think? Yes. Seal level 2. That's gonna be good on you. Let's get some good level gold quartz on him. Like hit level 3. Why can't I put that one on there? Is it? I wonder if it's because of seal. No. Why can't I apply it? That's one thing I never really understood about this. I might be limited to a level 1 slot. And with this one, I can put basically whatever I want. Impede level 2 is what he had on there to begin with, but... Actually, yeah, that'll be fine. I'm going to end this one here. Thank you all for watching. Join me next time on Trails to Azure as I land in the West Crosspell Highway, track down a monster, track down my Ellie, and we figure out where we're going to go from there. But until then, I'm the Dark Seraph, signing off. Goodbye.